Hi guys, welcome to this bite-sized video on how to revise for the CSA. My name's Nab, I'm a GP, trainer and educator here in Manchester, and I'm going to talk to you about genetics today. Genetics is an area that trainees commonly find difficult, and it can be quite a challenging CSA case. So we're going to break this video down into three areas. We're going to talk about some of the knowledge that you might need before you go into the exam, some of the skills that you might be able to use in the data gathering aspect of the examination, and also talk about how you might be able to explain a case in the CSA. From a knowledge perspective, it's really useful to go into the CSA knowing those conditions which are inherited in an autosomal dominant manner and those which are inherited in an autosomal recessive manner. And you can see both of those listed here. We've given you the common conditions to help you. So the next thing we need to talk about is the skills that you might need to use within the data gathering parts of the CSA. Think about with a genetic condition, who's affected? Is it one parent, or are both parents affected by a condition? Are there children who are affected? And is there anybody else in the family who's affected? Sometimes that can give you a little bit of a clue as to what type of inheritance this condition might have if you're not sure, so use that information. Don't forget, ask how that particular person is affected. It can help to put things in a psychosocial context. And furthermore, if you're dealing with a condition like Huntington's, you might want to ask how that person's feeling about having that particular gene. Remember, Huntington's is something which can be tested for, but the symptoms might not develop until that person is in their 40s. The last thing I wanted to cover is explaining a genetic inheritance pattern. Now, I strongly encourage drawing these patterns out because it makes things a lot easier when you can visualize what's going on. Here you can see an autosomal dominant pattern of inheritance. That means that any offspring have a 50% chance of inheriting an affected gene. Moving on to an autosomal recessive inheritance pattern, where one parent carries the affected gene, there's a 50% chance of a child being unaffected and a 50% chance of any offspring being a carrier of the affected gene. The final inheritance pattern to consider is the autosomal recessive inheritance pattern, where both parents carry an affected gene. In this case, there's a 25% chance of any offspring being unaffected, 25% chance of the offspring being affected, and 50% chance of any offspring being carriers of the affected gene. So I hope that's been useful, guys. Don't forget, if it's been a useful video, like and share. And if there are any other topics that you'd like us to cover, just pop them in the comments below and we'll try and get around to as many as possible. Good luck.